In this video, we are going to look at everything that you need to know about AWS certifications, and very useful, especially if you're a complete beginner and you want to know everything about all the different certification options available and which one you should be doing. Also, this will still also be useful if you know a specific certification, because I'm going to talk about those specific certifications which are highly sought after. And so you can, if you are on a specific certification, maybe jump on that particular certification which I'm going to talk about, including some of the material or useful things as well. So with that, let's look at what all things we're going to look at in this particular video. So we'll look at things like why you should be doing AWS certifications, the type of certifications that are available broadly into three different categories. Also, which one is the right certification, including the role that you're playing to play, the different certification path you should be doing. Also, preparation strategies. I'm going to keep it high level for in this particular video, but I'll create subsequent videos where we go on each of these specific certifications. Also, in this video, we're going to look at the frequently asked questions related to the certification that you might have, and also give you the pro tip that you will need. So in a nutshell, quite extensive video. Make sure you watch till the end. And if you have any questions which I've not covered in this video, make sure that you do and ask me in the comment section on this video. So we'll go talk about. We'll also look at some of these roles, like as an architect, administrator, DevOps, data engineer, AI/ML job roles, which one you should be doing. And towards the end, I'm going to refer these related links. And I just came to my mind that we'll also point to the Twitch channel of AWS, where there'll be some sessions available about certification preparation. So quite a juicy video that you're watching this. And if you're first time here on this channel, my name is Atul. I've been into close to 2.5 decades in IT, more than now 1.5 decade in cloud, especially multi-cloud. And all these things you're coming, you'll see some other person's experiences. So all these are tried and tested by I've now myself have gone from earning less than $100 a month to now earning in excess of £1,000 a day here in the UK. So with that, let's look at so first begin we're going to look at is why you should be doing a certification. Jump to a specific section. If you're not interested on hearing that particular thing, jump on straight to like type of certification or which one is right for you. So the first and most important is why AWS certification. I'll keep it short and quick. So first of all, main important is it enhances your career opportunities. If you look at if your resume goes to someone, an employer, um, and then they will look at that you're certified, you have a much more higher probability of getting your resume picked up because you're certified. Now, that doesn't mean that you will definitely get a job. That only means your resume is being picked up. So I want to be transparent and be open for you. If you're really after job or certification, job or getting a high paid job, then it's important that you do some hands-on lab and the project work. Now, which hands-on lab and the project work you should be doing, depending on the role you're playing. If you're going for infrastructure roles, like your developer, DevOps, administrator, architect, security engineer, network engineer, storage administrator, or anything with respect to migration from on-premise to cloud, then have a look at this URL, ketonacademy.com/AW05 for list of hands-on lab. Similarly, for AI and ML, this is the link here, or data engineering data you can look at. This is mainly for hands-on lab, but for certification, stick to on this video. Now, the certification also validates your learning skills and demonstrate that you have worked on, or at least understand the conceptual part of about AWS. So that's the reason why it's highly recommended for certification if you're not doing. Now, which certification you should be doing? The next question is, there are 4 categories of certification. One is foundation, or we say practitioner level certification. These are beginner friendly certifications that you have. Then you have associate level. These are some things which are, if you're preparing for job, I'll tell you which certification you do out of those are the most important or most in common one as well, so associate level. Then you have professional, which is DevOps and architect associate professional. And there was specialist, which is about if you're going deeper on a particular topic as well. And this is when we're going to look at one by one each of these certifications. So beginning with AWS Cloud Practitioner, who this is for and how do you prepare for the certification, and some additional document that you want to look at if you want to go deeper and preparing for this. Now, this particular certification, which is AI Cloud Practitioner, or CLF, we say Cloud Foundation as well, people refer it. This is mainly for someone who basically covers the AWS basic concepts, and you can go and create a free account, go and practice. I'll share maybe some links which I forgot to mention here, but there'll be subsequent some additional documents which I might refer here. You can go and practice and look at some basic core services. You can things like billing, pricing, as well as how do you get support from AWS. Now, who this certification is for? Anyone and everyone who's a complete beginner in cloud or going for roles like sales and technical, whatever you do, this is an entry point certification. I highly recommend you if you're a complete beginner in that. Now, even though AWS recommends that you should have a 6 months of basic AWS cloud knowledge, in my view, probably if you're learning in a structured manner, anything from 1 week to 1 month is much more than enough for you to clear this certification as well. Now, exam format, there's a 90-minute multiple choice questions they come, and you have to just do right or wrong answers as well. So there'll be multiple choice as well as multiple responses as well. Now, if you go deeper, I've shared a link here, which is ketonacademy.com/CP, AWS CP11, that will have much more deeper, and maybe I'll create a separate video, go deeper into everything that you need to know about this certification. So have a look at that. We'll create a separate video on this about this. Also, though you should not have, there's no requirement of doing a hands-on lab to do this, but I always learn from by doing stuff. So we recommend these hands-on labs that will help you to learn if you really want to get certified, that will understand and help you understand the concepts of AWS. So worth doing some of these basic hands-on lab. Check that out URL as well. Now, these are some of the guys who have, like you, who've cleared the certification, and I usually do these with inspiration and and these are some of the guys from our program who have done these certifications, of tons and tons of them. I've just picked up just a handful of them that you can see that it's doable, and there are hundreds of guys are doing it, so it's totally possible to for you as well. So that's first is about AWS Cloud Practitioner or Foundation. Now, second in that category, which is the AI Practitioner, I think it was introduced in September of 2024, and I think they became it was in beta version initially, and I think November is they introduced fully now available for general public, this one. So who this is for AI, so or this AI practitioner. So if you want to work in AI, machine learning, data science, or uh, most of these job roles now dictates and demands AI. So if you want to apply and leverage things like Bedrock, SageMaker, these are services on AWS. That is where the focus areas are for that particular services. So if you're working on AI, machine learning, as I said, or these kind of a roles, or even if you're implementing or working as an AI consultant or an architect who has to implement AI related services, then this is good one. Now, you should have a basic understanding of uh, core AI services on AWS Cloud, especially two services, which is main is Bedrock and second is SageMaker. And of course, how to secure the SageMaker and Bedrock as well. Now, similar to AWS Practitioner, it's a 90-minute multiple choice, multiple responses, question answers. So it's quite fairly easy, provided you understand the concepts. There is a separate link where you're going to go and refer more, AWS AIF, AI Foundation 11, and then AI Foundation 05. You can refer to them, and you can learn more about these. As I said, I'm going to create a separate videos and separate guide, separate videos similar to this on each of these blocks as we go forward. So that's second certification, which is this. Again, as I said, tons of guys who have cleared. Mohammed Khan, are part of our community who's done these, and we have tons and tons of guys who are clearing this certification. There are some how to get some sample questions I'll talk about as well a little bit later on. Then you have one of the most famous and most in demand, in my view, the certification, which is AWS Solution Architect Associate level. Now, in this certification, pretty much that covers every services that you can think of on AWS on a high level, so that you understand. And it's also pretty, if you're going in a technical roles, I would suggest you to go for this particular certification. So this is basically how to design and then scalable, secure, cost optimized cloud solution covering different services like storage. You have S3 buckets or block storage, file storage. You also have a networking like VPC, network load balancers, subnets, gateways, connectivity to the on-premise VPN. Then you have compute, you have virtual machines, containers, Kubernetes, or you also have function like Lambda, which is a serverless function. You have DevOps services, some of the configuration management, high availability, disaster recovery, all those services, security services, all the main services that you need to know, which is covered in this. Now, who this is for? someone who's want to become a solution architect or a technical staff, I recommend this certification for anyone who's looking for a job in infrastructure, whether you want to become an architect or you want to go and do other certifications, more advanced certifications. Highly recommend you this AWS Solution Architect. Now, or there are 130 minutes. There's also multiple choice questions, multiple responses, a little bit tricky to do. So maybe make sure that you spend enough time on this. Also, there are some additional resources, AWS SAA Solution Architect Associate 11, and that will take you to the other points that you can refer on these certifications. Similarly, the list of hands-on labs, there's a huge list of hands-on lab. I'm going to go a little bit deeper into this because that will help you to understand this. So this is where you go and look at different services will categorize, will change right from creating a free trial account to creating identity and access management to the storage, networking, all those things which are mentioned. You do and perform these in order to get this certified. Again, we have tons of guys who've created or got the certification about AWS Solution Architect. That's number 3 in my list. Then you have, if you're working as a data engineer, data analyst, data architect, data developer, anyone who's working on data, this is where you should be doing data engineering. So prior to, I think in 2024, I think mid or maybe I think I don't remember exactly, but I think March, April or June, July 2024, there were earlier 2 certifications. One was about AWS data analytics, and there was a one more I forgot on not top of my head. So those 2 certifications merged and then became data engineering associate level certification, and that is where you use data related services, of course, S3, Athena, Glue, Kinesis, data pipelines, data lake, and so on, Redshift, RDS, and so on. So this is where you build anyone who's working on a data, all different roles that I mentioned. That is where you should be doing. Again, that's a 130 minutes, multiple choice questions, multiple responses, and then how to book exam, what all things you should be learning. Again, AWS Data 11 and then AWS Data 05. These are 2 links which I'll highly recommend you to go and look at these certifications as well. How the format look like, and what are the topics, subtopics, domain wise that you see. And again, I'm going to put all these things domain wise, subdomain wise certifications. We'll have a separate video pointing into this. Just wanted to highlight that. Then you have AWS Machine Learning Associate. This Machine Learning Associate again introduced in October with AI Foundation. These are 2 certification came, which was initially for 2 months on beta, and now it's on about live Machine Learning Associate. Now, who this is for? This is if you're implementing, training, deploying, retraining machine learning models on AWS, primarily working on SageMaker. Of course, there'll be some Bedrock, but SageMaker, Amazon Q, and a lot of other services that you're doing. This is mainly for if you're a developer, AI engineer, architect, anyone who's working on the machine learning solutions. Now, again, 130 minutes, multiple choice questions, multiple responses. If you want to go deeper, what all subdomains, subtopics, you refer to this AWS ML 11, which I've mentioned, going down into uh, the different categories like data preparation for machine learning, model development, uh, deployment orchestration of machine learning workflows, and then monitoring, maintenance, security of machine learning. Again, of course, we are going to look at and we're going to add some more additional links onto these documents. Also, some of the hands-on lab we recommend for machine learning associate certification. Now, these certifications, these hands-on lab will help you to understand these topics. Like basically right from there'll be some data related part that will also help you in your data engineering certification. But as you see, machine learning also needs underlying data, so that's where it will be helpful for you. Then you go for AWS Certified Developer Associate, and this is for if you're working as a developer or implementing cloud native development applications or cloud native applications, development part or deployment of these services on AWS cloud. And this is where um, things like AWS, you have uh, serverless, which is a AWS Lambda. There's a lot of development services that you can build and develop and leverage all the other services on AWS Cloud. So if you're working as a developer, this is a good certification. Then there is a SysOps certification, mainly for system administrators. I found it a little bit more advanced and tricky. And I would suggest you before you go other certifications before you come into the system operations SysOps certification. I personally feel that you can learn a lot more from other certifications. Those are related to associate level certification. Then you have professional level certification, which is hugely popular, DevOps certification, which is where implementing and leveraging and deploying AWS DevOps related services. Like you have AWS code pipelines, AWS automation tools like CloudFormation, you have configuration management, a lot of other day-to-day operations DevOps team. So if you're working as a DevOps engineer, if you're working on a developer, if you're working as an administrator, these services, this DevOps certification is also hugely popular, given that there are tons of jobs available in this domain. Now, if you want to go more, click on this link, which is kitnetacademy.com/AWS DevOps 11. This is where you will have other certification points that you'll see. What are the exam domain topics? So these are the main domain topics: software development, lifecycle automation, configuration management as a code, infrastructure as a code. Then you have a resilient cloud solution availability point of view, monitoring, logging, incident management, security and compliance. So all these components. And of course, lists of hands-on labs for AWS DevOps 05. This is again different categories. So when you perform, you learn these hands-on labs. Again, as I said, typically tons of guys. I've just given you a handful of guys who've got the certification, who've done the certification using the method that we provide and go deeper into these things. So this is a certification that you can check. Then you have professional. Again, this professional level certification, AWS Architect Associate, not associate, AWS Architect, Solution Architect Professional. Again, more advanced. You need a much more in-depth, more advanced architecture related certifications you might do. So that's another one that you probably might be worth considering. Then you have machine specialist certification. These are very go deeper into a particular specialization. And this is where you have AWS machine learning specialist that was to prior to AI foundation and machine learning associate. This used to be machine learning specialist about machine learning prior to that. Now, given that machine learning associate and AI foundation, having knowledge of those helps in this your machine learning certification. This is again machine learning tools. This is the next level. Once you've done AI foundation and machine learning associate, then probably you want to come into machine learning specialist certification as well. Then you have more about is networking. If you're coming from a networking background, once you've done solution architect and once you've done some other certifications, it's worth doing networking if you have to go deeper into either networking or multi-cloud where you're integrating AWS cloud with other cloud. That also helps. But again, focus on other certifications first in my view. And the final one is about AWS certified security specialist. And this is where if you're working on security tools like identity and access management, data at rest, or security in rest, WAF, web application firewall. You have firewalls, you have security at net storage level, security at network level. There is entire security. There are a lot of tools available on for security part, and this is for security, identity compliance, and best practices on AWS Cloud. Now again, 170 minutes, multiple choice questions, multiple responses, and if you have to go and look at deeper into this certification, maybe go and look at what are the sections or the domains that you do, which is like, for example, threat detection and incident reports. You have security logging and monitoring. You have infrastructure security, identity access management, data protection, and management and security governance, each topic wise as well. And we'll go deeper and I'll hyperlink some of these documents later. Um, Now, again, as I said, tons of guys who have done these are Mohammed uh, Adil, part of our program as well. Um, yeah, so this is in a high level, all these certifications that you can do. Again, once you know, once you've decided, if you're not sure, let us know which program you, which background you have and what you want to achieve, and then I can refer, I can point you. But to understand which one you should be doing, that's the next part about which certification is right for you, depending on your role. So if a beginner and don't want to go on a specific directly on a domain wise, I want to maybe begin with either a cloud practitioner or solution architect. I would though it sounds like an architect, but the solution architect associate level certification will give you the width of like good enough knowledge about all the cloud services. Highly recommend you. If you're an architect, then I think better would be look at these. If you're an architect, I would go for AWS Solution Architect, or you're in a Solution Architect, Application Architect, Enterprise Architect. I would begin with maybe Cloud Practitioner and jump for Solution Architect. If you want to go AWS Practitioner, AWS AI Practitioner or Cloud Practitioner. This is what AWS recommends you to go on that if you're a solution architect. Similarly, if you're an application architect, you take these path. Now, if I'm in a place, if I'm in a solution architect or application architect, I might go for a foundation level certification, go for solution architect, and then I'll jump on maybe Microsoft Azure Solution Architect. If I'm an architect, I would go for these certifications if I'm in a place. Then you have similarly for administrator, I might go for solution, still go for AWS Solution Architect, given then, even though it says system administrator. AWS recommends to do SysOps. In my view, before SysOps, I would go for solution architect. Also, I would go for DevOps engineer certification. Also, before jumping on to more advanced AWS certification, I prefer to have a 360-degree view, which means I need to have more than one cloud knowledge. And this is where I might go for Azure Administrator or Kubernetes Administrator and so on. If you want to more information about those, leave me in a comment section that you want to know more about it, and I'll refer to some additional links which we have on our blog. And I'm also planning to create some videos around that line. Now, if you're doing cloud DevOps, this is again, if you're planning to do cloud DevOps, AWS DevOps professional, but before that, either be a developer or highly recommended to do solution architect certification. Now, there are other certifications for DevOps. There's a DevOps Foundation. There's a Terraform, which is a cloud automation tool like AWS Cloud Formation, so Terraform automation. Then you have AWS DevOps Engineer. These are things I would do um, rather than doing multiple certifications within AWS space. I might do one or two from AWS, and then I'll go for other cloud DevOps certifications, like as I said, Azure DevOps or Terraform and so on. Then if you're going for a data engineer, we already mentioned you do cloud practitioner and then go for AWS solution architect and then go for data engineer. Then better would be I will go for Microsoft Azure data engineer, which is DP203. Then there are other other data related from Microsoft Azure certifications, or you might go for other cloud data related platforms that you have, big data and so on. I might go for those, or PySpark and so on. Then, if you are going for a AWS AI ML related job roles, you're working on a data scientist, AI, generative AI, machine learning, then of course I'll begin with AWS AI practitioner is something which I'll do. Apart from cloud practitioner, I would also go for AI practitioner, and then I'll go with machine learning associate. Now, I might go for solution architect depending on what your appetite is. Um, but definitely, this is what AWS recommends. I would directly jump on machine learning associate from these two, or maybe I'll go with AI practitioner and go for machine learning, depending on check what your appetite are and pick that. But this is what AWS recommends. Now, if you're in a place, I would go for, uh, as I said, do one certification for AWS. I'll go with Azure or Google AI machine learning. So Microsoft has Microsoft Azure AI Engineer AI 102, or they also have for machine learning data scientist, which is DP 100 from Microsoft, or from AWS you have AI practitioner or machine learning engineer associate or machine learning specialist, these certifications as well. Again, so that is my view. Feel free to change or do what is right for you. This is what I think has served me very well, where I have not just one cloud knowledge, but other cloud knowledge as well. I can put both to help my client in implementing these things. So this is a high level path you should be doing. Now, how to prepare for these certifications. Now, in this video, I'm going to go on a very high level, on a, to be frank, superficial level to give you an idea about. But later, each of these videos I'll be creating, as I said, for solution architect, or depending on, let me know also in the comment section which first video you want to go for me to prepare, and I'll prepare that video and go deeper into that particular certification, and that will have much more in depth in my preparation how to prepare. But I'll give you a high level here, and then I'll create more additional videos to go deeper into each of these, how to prepare for those certification, because that's when we'll go on deeper into each of these topics. So first of all, make sure that you understand the exam, what topics they need to go. So to give you an example of, I think I'll go with, let's suppose AWS Solution Architect, because that's where I think is near and dear to me. I highly recommend everyone. So I think, let me go AWS SA AWS SA 011, and that is where you go and look at each of these, and this is where you go and prepare each of these topics thoroughly and do some hands-on lab as well, architect associate. So I'll go and look at, first of all, how does it design a secure architecture look like, and this is where I'm going to go and look at each of these topics uh, in depth, and I'll give you some recommendation on hands-on lab you're going to prepare and some sample exam questions each with respect to the services. So we'll go deeper into these when I go and look. So what I mean by that is when you say exam blueprint, make sure you go to the page and I'll give you some links on what you can refer when it says official AWS certification page for details. Um, this is the official certification page, which is aws.amazon.com/certification. And if you click here, and then go for a specific certification. So for example, I have AWS Practitioner or AWS Solution Architect Associate. I'm going to go to this one, and this is where I'll go and prepare for this exam. There's a tons of material, review guide, and some things. And this is what I'm going to cover in respective certification, but this is a good starting point. Something similar, if you want to go, for example, a practitioner, I'm going to go onto the cloud practitioner, and this is where we'll go on how schedule an exam. This is where how I'll prepare for the exam. This is how also the exam guide questions, and there'll be also practice tests. So there's plenty of material available within AWS, or you want to work closely with us, we'll help you that as well. I'll give you some links a little bit later. So this is how what I mean by practicing official AWS certification page. Now there's a lot of skills, lot of free resources available, and then also within AWS there's a skill builder. So when you go to these links pages, you can go and look at these practice questions, and there's a skill builder. Refer to these, that create an account if you don't have one. This is where you can create some of these things quickly. Also, there's some Udemy courses. Also, we have a program that we go deeper. So let me just show it to you. But this is a paid program where we go have a community. And this is where we go and explain step by step with all the sample questions, all the certification questions, all step by step hands-on lab on which you probably can learn. So to give an example of AWS SAA certification question. So this is a AWS Solution Architect Associate. And this is what we recommend you to learn, understand all these modules and with respective hands-on labs, right from security to storage to the compute to the networking, load balancers, and so on, these hands-on labs. And then it's a live interactive session, but plus also useful links that you probably go, which is a certification on not only this, but certification exam questions as well. So go very, very deep into this. So if I give you the certification exam questions, you get everything that you need, live interactive, not only to learn this, but go deeper, sample exam questions and everything. So you get clear the certification as well. And with that, you get a community as well. So that's the right resource. You can do it on your own, or you can take help and engage companies like us or other companies as well. Now, this is very, very important. Practice with hands-on lab. A lot of guys just do theoretical, but I will highly recommend you to do the practical, depending on which certification you're doing. Just a knowledge of about console, and if you've tried and tested that, that helps. There are also tons of sample exam questions. Prepare for that as well. So do the mock practice as well. Now, if you're going for more advanced certifications like AWS Architect Associate or Professional or DevOps, do some project work that will help you to understand the concepts. Now, more about these, I'm going to cover in subsequent videos as well. Now, this is very interesting. There are some of the common questions we get again and again. The best part to do is there's a link which I'm giving, and that will answer pretty much every question you have, which is aws.amazon.com/certification/FAQ. If you click on this, this is the best FAQ. I think I would say you will have pretty much every answer question you might have get answered. So these are 11 questions within the top questions. And then you have about certification, how do they score, how do you schedule the exam, how the scoring happens, and then benefits. All those things that you will need is covered. Highly suggest that that's already covered. But I'm going to take few questions, and then if something comes to your mind, if you don't want to go and read out these questions, just leave the comment, and I'll promise that either me or someone from my team will definitely answer those questions to you. So first of all, the question is, do I need a coding skills? Not at all. Especially for practitioner and solution architect, some of those things you don't need any coding. There's some more advanced, they will know topics. You don't need to be coding, a coder, but having a little bit of scripting knowledge helps, especially about in DevOps or developer, those kind of things, but they're not going to judge you or test you for coding knowledge. Now, how much time it takes? My view is that on a basic levels, don't spend too much time. If your depending on what your objective is, if your objective is to find a job, don't spend too much time into certification. Focus more on doing the hands-on lab and use these certifications to actually learn a particular skill. But these are the high level which I mentioned: 2 to 4 weeks for practitioner, 2 to 3 months for associate level, and 4 to 6 months for uh, professional level. Now, this is, in my view, if you're doing on your own. If you have a learning partner like us, you can do much quicker. Maybe anything for cloud practitioner, anything between 1 to 2 weeks. Associate level, anything from 8 to 12 weeks, and same with professional, 8 to 12 weeks are much more than enough for you. Now, exam format, usually multiple choice questions. There's no negative marking. Costing will differ from certification to certification. And yes, you have to renew the certification. It's not like lifelong. You have to renew. And I think 3 years, some people, I think it might change. So don't quote me about renewal 3 years, but you'll find out for that particular specific certification. Now, before we coming to the final part, and make sure that I'm going to also tell you how you can get hold and work closely with us. And if you need our help in order to not only getting certified, but get a high paying job, you can click this link, which is k2academy.com/AWS infra call. Fill some set of questions. This is not a free program. This is a paid program, which I said. Um, that's a shame. One second. Yeah, so this is the URL I was talking about. Just click on this link and enter a set of few questions: your name, email address. Main important is LinkedIn profile, and then what kind of a job you're looking for. This is mainly if you're looking for either a certification or a high paying job. And if you're applying, what's stopping you in getting certified, or what's stopping you in getting certified or getting a high paying job, and how much you want to earn. And then again, as I said, this is not a free service. This is a paid program, so there's an investment required. Just enter your details, and then someone from my team will give you a call and see if we can help you. We'll definitely help you. If we can't, we'll tell you how you can make best out of whatever free resources that are available on the internet or in this community that I'm going to talk about as well. So with that, let's look at the pro tip. As I said, is again, the common mistake people do is they do this certification just to clear the certification. They try to memorize it, to try to just remember things. Don't do that. Do it to understand the concept, and whatever you're doing it, use that certification to learn. Don't do it just to clear the certification. Also, then do multiple type test. If you fail, there are a lot of tests available either on the internet, or if you're part of our program, we give you multiple set of exam questions. Go through them and try to use them, leverage them to understand the concept. So practice as well. Come and discuss with the team, and then make sure you go through tons of documentation. When you actually perform those things, things become much clear to you. Now, if you want to see what type of questions you can get, we have sample questions. We have tons of sample questions, tons of free goodies, and a lot of material on our website that you can go. So if you can go to this URL, k2academy.com/EQ, that you will be able to download the free free exam question guide. Just enter your name, email address, and if you need our help, answer that, and you'll get an email with, you will get the exam questions. So and also tell you so you can get sense of about the exam questions you can expect in the exam. And yeah, so this will give you all the some of the top level certifications which are hugely in demand. We talk about those so you can sense and you can see what the questions people might be getting. Also, there's a free community where I'm recording this page, which is k2academy.com/free community, which is absolutely free. Join this. I'll explain you where this video is going to come, and you can ask questions just below this video. Also, I'll share some comment ways to do. So leave a comment there, or otherwise you come into the classroom here, and then this is where I think certifications, this is where I'll be adding other certifications as well. So this is where you're watching this. I'll put this video here. So that's another place to come as well. And then also let me know in the comment section which certification you're planning to take. Based on that, I'll create a video. I have some things in my mind, which I think Solution Architect Associate first, which is, I think I did that first. So that's why I'm going to do also practitioner. But if you have any other certification, AI/ML, I think I might have already done. We'll do AI/ML, data engineering. These are the things which I have in my mind. But if you have a specific certification, I'm going to go and do deeper into that certification. Let me know which certification you're aiming towards first and why you're doing. With that, I think we're coming to a final thought about is that make sure that whatever you do it to learn, do it to clear the concepts, and do it so that you can shine in your professional career. Also, there are some links which I'll highly recommend you, k2academy.com/AWS 11, which will talk about this whole thing which I mentioned about in certification. Um, will go on. I think my team will add some more topics around that as well. Also, this AWS certification, this is the Amazon's track. Also, frequently asked questions which I mentioned, but this is the certification learning path, this PDF. So I think from an Amazon site, it's worth doing as well. Now, also I've given some other links. I'll update this link as I see more and more. If you think you have link something that you think is worth, please leave them under comment section so I can refer those as well. And the final thought, if you need our help in getting certified or getting a high paying job, if you're applying for the interview calls, not getting interview calls, or struggling to get clear the interviews, or need help, any help, just fill this question answer form and make sure you share your LinkedIn for sure, because that's when I'll go deeper and understand you as a person to see how we can help and if we can help. If not, we'll point to some other documentations as well. With that, this is Atul from Team K2 Academy. Go and check it out. Maybe pause this, maybe ask questions, share it with your friends and colleagues, or do let me know in the comment section any positive, constructive feedback, what I could have done to make it better. And because I have one of the rules, 1% improvement every day. Now, next mm, I'm going to talk about is the next certification. So do let me know about that as well, which certification I should be doing. Otherwise, I'll prepare something if I don't get comments, whatever I have in my mind. But I want to do it what you guys looking for. With that, as I said, Atul from Team Keto Academy signing off now, and can't wait to help you. I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, and if you're watching this on some other place, just go and share it with your friends and colleagues. Take care and bye for now.